Hello guys, welcome back to Big Brother. I'm feeling deflated because I did not realise that I had to catch up on 3 hours of Big Brother instead of the regular 2, which obviously, very happy that I got to watch more Big Brother, but it does mean that I currently have 4 pages of notes to fit into a 20-minute episode. How am I going to manage that one? I don't know. I've picked out the best bits. I'm not going to be talking about every little conversation like I usually do. But we are going to have to talk about some crazy stuff that happened in these 2 episodes. Sorry that I'm having to jam-pack them together, but I want to get the video up tomorrow that is talking about tonight's eviction. Which, I'm going to be honest, I'm nervous. This is the first time this series where I'm like, this could go anyway, and every single possible outcome is kind of bad, and I do not like it. I do not like this week. This week has not been good. I do not enjoy. But either way, I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I do have a TikTok now with some content that's going to be going up. Most of it's going to be sort of like recut together stuff from videos that are already on the channel, but making them a little bit funnier, I guess, adding in captions and things like that. But also I'm going to be doing my own little TikToks, filling you in on my days and stuff like that. Not every day, because most of the time I'm just sat here editing, so it's not actually that interesting. But if I do something fun, you guys will be the first to know about it. So without much further ado, let's get into the episode. Oh, by the way, the TikTok, it's MyEnragedRants. Yeah, pretty basic. So, I have had the worst time. I got to the end of the video. I loaded it up in the editing software. No sound for anything apart from the intro. Fat L all round. I literally was like, I cannot break my posting every single day for this. That would wind me up. I've been doing so good since February 7th or 8th. I can't remember which one. But anyway, we're back in the video, and let's talk about Cam and Chelsea, because Cam and Chelsea are in a very, very unique position. Cam's been told by Tucker that it's tough, but he was going to go home if Chelsea was up against him, because the house would rather rally behind Chelsea than they would behind Cam, which is kind of crazy. Chelsea and Cam have basically gone from 2 of the most powerful people in the house, thanks to the Pentagon Alliance, to 2 of the people who have no power whatsoever in this house. Nobody trusts them. Nobody wants to be linked to them. No one really wants to be around them, which is kind of crazy. I'm joking. It's not actually that bad. People still do like them, don't worry. But either way, Chelsea is kind of narked that just everything is out of her control now. She had the control week 2, week 3, and now it's completely gone, which is kind of crazy. But it is where it is. It seems like Chelsea can only really trust Cam, and Cam Chelsea, but who knows where they're going to go in the future. So this HOH competition was crazy, not because it was actually entertaining or anything, but because it ended so quickly and with absolutely nothing going on. Like, it was just so wild to me. Like, genuinely, I was not sure how to take this challenge. It was called Sound Bites, and it was just playing a load of ASMR sounds. But they did people so dirty with the videos, so dirty. Like, they just had Angela chomping on an apple, Matt crunching into a quesadilla, Kenny shaving his head. I was like, rah, this is kind of crazy. Did not enjoy the sounds one bit, but it is what it is. Not really much you can do about it. So, we then had the matter of the actual questions. And the questions were kind of bad. They were just very difficult, and I think that's why it ended so quickly, because it was kind of like they were just guessing. It wasn't really like there was any way they could use logic or things. It was just, if you remembered, you remembered. If you didn't, oh well, 50-50 shot. We had Angela second guessing herself in the first round, which really frustrated me because she went out straight away, and I was like, oh, for goodness sake, I just want another Angela HOH so she's safe for the week, please. Please, I'm begging you. But sadly, she did not win, and neither did Quinn, which was good. But by the end of the 3rd question, T-Core was the winner, so I was kind of like, okay, this is cool. I can back a T-Core win. I like that. I'm sure she's not going to make any questionable decisions this week. I'm sure that she is going to follow the plan, put people up who are not in her alliance, and I'm sure that it is going to be a nice, smooth sailing week. Yeah. So that brings us to the Friends Alliance, which, first of all, dumbest name ever. I hated it. I think it's so lazy. It's so boring. We've had things like the Collective. We've had the Visionaries. We've had Sixth Avenue. They're all exciting, interesting names. But Friends with four Z's at the end, kind of boring. Like, even Tucker was like, maybe we should call ourselves the Visionaries. And Tikor in her little confessional was like, sorry, already taken, bestie. And I was like, that was kind of a cool moment. But either way, it's just so, like, ugh. Like, even Collective 2.0 would have been funnier than Friends. Like, come on. Have some creativity about it. Come on. So, before we head on to some other moments that happened in the first episode, I just want to talk about nominations, because nominations kind of sets me up for what I'm going to talk about in the next couple of sections. But nominations were interesting, to say the least. I would personally say that this was a very poor choice from T-Core. First of all, she went around to each of the people she's not aligned with to find out who they would nominate and sort of get some information from them. And she found out that Mackenzie wants to target Quinn and Angela, which are two people that she is kind of aligned with. We have Chelsea, who obviously wants to target Tucker, another person that she's aligned with. But T-Core and Chelsea have a weird pact that's like, I won't nominate you if you don't nominate me. So I think T-Core's honouring that. Otherwise, I think that Chelsea would have been like the perfect target for this week, is to get her out because she's smart, but clearly not. And then we have her talking to Leah and Cam. And they both had very, very similar vibes with their talks. Leah, I don't know how I would describe her gameplay at the moment. Poor? Same with Cam. Like, I don't understand. Are they tactical geniuses that are just sitting back observing, ready to pounce and like slide their way through the game unnoticed? Or are they just not great at playing this game and somehow getting away with it week after week after week? I'm not sure how I feel about it. The episodes are really making me feel like it's the fact that they're lucky that they've made it this far, and that there are just bigger targets, and therefore that's why they're not being targeted. But either way, it is just a bit jarring, because I watch and I'm like, they're not doing anything that's making me go, oh, wow, power move. Like with Chemo and T-Core, up until they made that big move on Cedric, I was like, I don't think they're doing anything. They're not doing anything fast. They're not doing anything at all. So, not really sure what to think here. So yeah, I don't know. It's been alright, but like, the nominations were Tucker, Cam, and Mackenzie. Mackenzie, obviously, because she's targeting people that T-Core is aligned with. Cam, because he's Cam. And Tucker, I don't know why she put Tucker up over Leah, because Leah gave her absolutely nothing. And it was just, the whole conversation was jarring to watch. But Tucker did sort of be like, if you need to put me up as a pawn, I'll be a pawn. And I was like, don't do that, Tucker. That's a poor idea. But what can you do about it, eh? So, it is very rare that I do a whole segment on this channel that is basically about funny moments in an episode. But there was enough to actually warrant a section on funny moments. And I'm very happy. I love funny moments. It's one of my favourite parts of the Big Brother UK episodes that I do on this channel. They always have iconic quotes and moments, and it's time to bring you iconic quotes and moments. That jingle is pending everything. It hasn't passed inspection. But anyway, we're going to start with the first hilarious moment, which was Angela getting off of being a have-not and finally eating her charcuterie board and toasting to Brooklyn. That was such a hilarious moment. It had me howling from start to finish, and it just proves Angela is an icon, and we would not have this series without her. I don't think it would be anywhere near as entertaining without her and Tucker. So you have those two to thank. Next up, we have Chemo singing a song, which was kind of iconic and kind of a slay. I was really liking it. I thought it was really, really good. It had such a nice melody. It had like a good beat to it. And then the editors decided to like actually make it into a little bit of a song. And I was like, ooh, this is quite funky, you know. This is quite good. I like this. Next up, we have also Chemo and Joseph this time sharing a gherkin. And I don't just mean like splitting it in half. Nope. They almost kissed. They did a Lady and the Tramp style eating of it, and I gotta be honest, it was actually really, really entertaining and funny, and they actually smashed it. It was so entertaining, and honestly, I kind of ship it, I don't lie. And then the last thing we had was obviously Angela twerking. Again, a sight that I am not sure I'm going to be able to get out of my brain, but it was hilarious, it was entertaining, and I'm glad that they're all kind of having fun with her and enjoying their time with her. She's one of those rare characters that you get on a reality show where they try and paint her to be a villain, but she's not a villain. She is just iconic as fucks. So, what happened with the Tucker instigator, AI instigator role? It was a little bit of a disaster at the start, but it got better as it went along. I'm voting for the 20,000. I'm not in the US, but if I was, I'd be giving him the 20,000. He deserves it. He's entertained us all season long, so do you know what? He deserves it, even if he has kind of ballsed up this part of the challenge. But on the whole, I thought he did a decent job. He started off by targeting Rubina, which was not the best plan. He put Quinn's avatar up and he got him to say something along the lines of like, oh, Rubina and Tucker, they're getting a little bit close, don't you think? Hashtag relationship or showmance or something like that. Beware of them, etc, etc. I was like, oh no. Like, I understand why you did that, Tucker. Not the smartest move. It wasn't a good move. Don't do that again, please don't. Because she got really upset because of it, and Tucker was like, I kind of fucked up here. I kind of didn't do that great. Whoopsie, I guess. So, yeah, on the whole, I am going to give that a fat 0 out of 10. But the rest of it was alright. He put Rubina's avatar up and gave Angela like an award for being the best twerker, which I found quite entertaining and funny. And then we also had... Who else was it? Quinn? No, we've had Quinn, we've had Rubina. Chemo next, exposing Leah for being a little bit of a backseat player, sitting in the back, allowing everyone to play around her and kind of observing. I do think it's right to call out Leah. I just have a feeling that he could have worded it better, because there are more things going on than she talks to the boys and gets the information from them. That's pretty poor reasoning. And then when it came down to Tucker putting himself up on the screen, he actually exposed Chelsea, Quinn, and T-Core for playing games in the house, which I found very interesting. That was great. He was like, Chelsea and Quinn, we haven't forgotten about you. And T-Core putting Tucker up, yeah, that's not okay. And I was like, that's interesting. That could come into effect, because as we learn throughout the episode, T-Core doesn't exactly have Tucker's best interests in mind. So, the veto competition was the prize veto competition. I don't remember whether they did this on BB24, but they definitely did it last season. And last season, there were some hilarious punishments, like having Matt dress up as a lumberjack and carry around this fucking cardboard cutout, putting Felicia and... who was it? Felicia and... oh my god, Sari in the kayak to, like, go around all day, having Cameron and Izzy as pig pals. That was funny. This one, I think that this one was arguably worse, if I'm being honest. I think they had it quite easy last year. This year, tough. All I'm going to say is the punishments were tough, but we'll get to that in a little bit. The challenge itself was launch a ball at a wall of targets and get the highest score to survive in the game. The first person out was Joseph. He's just not made for competitions, bless him. He absolutely cannot catch a break here. I just want him to win one competition, and then he doesn't need to win anymore. He's competed in every single veto bar like 1 or 2. And it's kind of crazy, but like, he's just not very good at them, bless him. So he got given the veto to start with. Obviously, sucks. He knows he's not going to get it. Then Angela was next out, and Angela got the trapped in the matrix. And I was like, oh no, not Matt. Don't bring Matt back, please, for the love of God. I don't need to see him come back. So she obviously swapped with Joseph, so Joseph got the matrix, and she got the veto. Then Mackenzie was out. Mackenzie got a holiday decided to stick with the holiday. I think that's very smart because she knew she wasn't going to get the veto by the end of the competition because obviously there were still people up on the block who would want it more. And therefore, she stuck with the holiday. I think that was a smart plan. Then T-Core was out. T-Core took the veto and gave Angela the radiation eradication punishment, which, when we get to that later, T-Core, that was cruel. That was really, really cruel of you. Like, in hindsight, not great. But obviously at the time, you didn't know what it was about. Then, obviously, we had Tucker losing his first veto competition, I think. And honestly, oh no, did he win or was he a renom? I think this is his first veto that he's lost. I could be very, very wrong. But anyway, he actually did lose against Cam. So obviously Cam took the veto. Tucker had 5k in cash and gave it to T-Core to take the veto, knowing he wouldn't end up with it and would take the punishment at the end. So obviously Cam took the veto and Tucker got the punishment. I'm so bad with names today. It's just not coming to my brain. But yeah, on the whole, a good veto challenge. Very, very enjoyable. But let's move on. So these punishments, what were the punishments? Well, the first one with Tucker, he had to dress up as the AI assistant and basically just like run to the encyclopedias and look up whatever question he was asked. There were some really stupid ones, like who was the first person to first monarch to reside in Buckingham Palace? I didn't know. Queen Victoria. That's crazy. That's ludicrous. Where did they live before that? That's wild. I feel like I should know that as a British person, but that's embarrassing that I didn't know that. Also, things like what destroyed Pompeii, Mount Vesuvius, obviously. How tall is a giraffe? Didn't know. 18 feet, apparently. So, yeah, on the whole, very, very interesting task. They got him up in the middle of the night. He seemed to be a good sport with it, which was good. It's always helpful when they're not sort of, like, getting angry about the sort of mundane stuff. I will say, Angela's one, she had every right to be upset, because that was tough and not fun to do. Honestly, this is what I meant by, like, in hindsight, T-Core actually screwed her over, because this was a tough challenge. Also, don't ask why I've got headphones on. I've just realised that, oh my god, that really does muffle you. That's actually crazy. Anyway, sorry. I was just watching a little clip in between recording. But anyway, Angela had to transport 1,000 mini balls with a litter picker from one end of the garden to the other end of the garden in 12 hours. She did it in 9 hours, 32 minutes, which is kind of crazy. But also, through the night, she got no sleep. Unfortunately, everyone rallied around her and was really, really supportive of her and really thought that she was doing a fantastic job. And then, periodically, she'd have to go into the irradiation chamber, get gunked, get then hosed down, and then have to dry herself off and then get back to it. And it's tough. It's not easy in the slightest. It actually is tough. So, honestly, yeah, good job to her for doing that, because I think I would have had a little bit of a breakdown doing that. I think anybody would have, because it is tough and it isn't fun to do. Then the final punishment was Joseph spending 24 hours in solitary confinement with Matt. Not even Matt. Matt's AI just saying absolute bullshit all day long. Things like, oh, did you know that the numbers 1 to 1,000 do not contain the word A, the letter A? 1, no A. 2, no A. And then it gets up to like 8. 8, now you'd think it's spelled ATE, but it's not. So still, no A. And I was sitting there going, absolutely not. I could not be trapped in a room with him. I actually would go mad and I'd start throwing things. I think I'd end up unplugging the stupid thing and being like, no, I cannot listen to any more of your words, Matt, please. God, couldn't do it. I actually couldn't do it. It would actually drive me crazy. So before we finish off this episode, we've got to talk about Angela flipping on Tucker. And I don't want to talk about it because she has absolutely ruined her game potentially, and it's really upsetting to see. Because essentially, she had a conversation with Tucker, and Tucker was like, you're my final two, I'm taking you to the end. And Angela's thinking, but what about Rubina? And he's like, nah, I take you over Rubina. And she's like, I don't trust him. I don't trust him anymore. I don't trust anything he's saying. He's not taking me to top 2. And I was like, well, even if he doesn't take you to top 2, he'd still take you to top 3. And then all you got to try and do is win. So, like, getting to top 3, that's the hard part. And if he's willing to take you there, then I feel like that's chill. You can't be worried about top 2s when you're still at top 11. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we need to cool the jets, please, for the love of God. But obviously Angela, she gets in her head, she gets worked up, and now she's gone to Quinn, Mackenzie, and Leah and been like, we need to get Tucker out. And I'm just thinking, oh no. Because then Quinn has gone to T-Core and been like, hey, yo, XYZ's been said, we should probably put Angela up. And T-Core's like, good idea. And then Tucker hears about it from Quinn, goes to confront Angela, and Angela's like, I'm sorry, I don't trust you. And he's like, what more do I need to do? I've pulled you off the block. I've made your game integral to my game, and vice versa. Like, actually, getting rid of you would help me in no way, shape, or form. I want to work with you. I still want to work with you, even after you've done all this. Honestly, I don't know what she was thinking. I honestly don't know what she was thinking, but it is what it is. Not really much you can do about it. But now she's up on the block. She was the renom for Cam. Cam took himself down. She's now up there. A CBA. I actually just CBA because what am I meant to do? This woman is actually just sabotaging her own game, and it's so frustrating to watch. I love her to pieces, and I want her to win. But this is not a winning game that she's playing currently. She was, but this move might have just destroyed it. So, that is it for this episode. Round 2, because I've already recorded this once, and I'm seeing that the mic is actually picking stuff up, so fingers crossed it works out. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.